G'day. I'm trying to remember where I was up to last stream. I think we just used the Esper to get some new information from some photos we picked up from a video. I think that's where we're up to. I'm just going to take another look at what evidence we have, actually.
Who else would be capable of such barbaric
Oops.
acts?
Not what I wanted. Okay, yeah. So we got the China Bar security disc, this photo, and we saw Ezo in the photo. And we saw Guza. Yeah. Okay, so I think if we go try and question these two people, we might get somewhere. Let's go. Sorry, I forgot to switch the stream node.
Your floor number, please.
I'll take a look at that evidence again in a second, just so you can see what I was talking about. So, the China Bar photo we had already, and then we got the video. So this is the photo, one of the photos we got, and this is the other one we pulled out as well. I expected this
dog has a name
dog
on
collar to lead
Ricky,
somewhere,
maybe?
but so far it hasn't come in handy for any kind of links. It might. Perhaps it'll turn up later. I don't know. And so far, the only replicate that I've actually captured and retired, well, he actually tried to assassinate me right here, and I killed him. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's been really difficult to find anyone else so far. Need to get to the police station, and then we've already got Ezo in custody. Somehow he's associated with another case, and he was arrested for that. And he's an arms dealer.
Lockup.
You look right at home in there, Ezo.
Okay.
You look right at home in there, Ezo.
That's annoying. I was hoping to ask him some more questions, but obviously I don't have the right clues.
You keeping busy, pal?
Please leave me alone. My migraine's acting up.
Well, I think that's it. Maybe I'll try and talk to this cop. They might have...
What do you know?
Zero that would interest you, Detective.
Yeah. Alright. On to the next thing to check.
Mainframe and shooting range.
Since I found those photos, I haven't gone to the mainframe and synced my data, so I'll do that.
Uploading personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete.
See if that gave us anything new. Looks like not. Alright, so we have the weapons cache, and we have this weapons order form, which we found the order form. I can't remember if it was the order form or the shipping form. I think it was the order form in the office in the police station down here. I don't know if that's associated with any of the arms dealing.
Lockup. Ground floor.
The last time I came in here, there was nobody in here though. Hopefully there's somebody there today. Okay. Here we go.
The goons over at the Tyrell building wouldn't let me talk to their boss. Maybe you can set up a meeting.
Anyone else in that whole company who knows anything?
You and I both know it's a one-man show over there.
I'll give it a try, kid. I'll have to pull some strings, so don't go in there half-assed. Make sure you got some legit questions for the resident genius.
Appreciate it, Lieutenant. Bryant go on permanent leave and you get full use of the office, Lieutenant?
You'd be amazed at how accommodating a man can be after his hemorrhoids get lanced. You really been surprising the troops around here, kid. Gaff says you worked that retirement like a champ.
Just doing the job.
Yeah, well, don't get too cocky. Those sixes can be damn unpredictable.
That I know.
Payments is wiring the advance to your account as we speak.
Awesome.
How much?
Couple hundred Chinian. Enough to buy a sandwich or two. We gotta hold back the rest until the lab does the autopsy. Paperwork, you know. Shouldn't take more than a couple of days.
Feels like ages
So the
since
check's
we
in the
went
mail.
through with that. And now we're
Hey,
finally
don't
getting some
worry.
resolution on it.
Boys
I was wondering
upstairs wanna
what
keep our best
what
and
happened.
brightest happy. Any idea what you want to spend it on?
I was thinking maybe a companion for my animal at home.
Forget that. Buy yourself something nice. Once you start carving up that juicy bacon, kid, the taste never goes away. The great things in life, believe me, you'll just be wanting more and more.
Hmm. I don't know if there's anything else to ask him.
Sorry to
wasn't-
bother you, Lieutenant. I was just checking in.
Okay.
We'll get back out there. Those reps ain't retiring themselves.
Yeah, suicidal targets would make my job a lot easier.
Everybody's got a job, kid.
All right. It sounded like that there might be some new evidence in the lab, so I'll go up to the lab before I head out to the Tyrell. I don't know what like stage I am at in like progression either, so I'm assuming it's like a 3-act sort of thing.
Laboratory.
And my save game, like I had an autosave that was start of Act 2, so I don't know
Laboratory.
how far I am through yet.
Laboratory.
Alright, so the lab tech doesn't seem to be here yet. I may need to go do the old sleep at the apartment to progress.
Mainframe.
anything
And
else I
shooting
can-
range.
Is there anything else I should do before I do that? I think I'm going to be able to talk to some people at Tyrell now, which I'd been waiting for someone else to talk to there. Yeah, so we have 3 or 4 cases, I think. We've got the animal murder, the murder of one of the Tyrell employees, the arms dealer, which we know that was Izo, and he's in prison already. I don't know if we can get him charged with it or what, but one of our colleagues is protecting him from us. This was a bombing, which we were present for. And we survived after a few reloads. And then there was the factory bombing, which I haven't been able to get much information on. I guess I'm not on that case. And the moon bus hijacking, I'm not on that case either, as far as I can tell. I haven't been able to get to a crime scene or anything. Yeah, I think I'll just go straight back to the apartment and rest and see if that progresses us to Act 3 or something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I should go to Tyrell first. Oh, look, it's... Either way I go, I'll want to do both of those things. Hopefully the bomber hasn't been to my apartment and planted explosives there.
Your floor number, please.
McCoy, 88F.
88. Thank you.
Here you go, baby. Dinner time. Portrait of the sleep-deprived.
Alright, so there was no cutscene. I don't think that... Last time we progressed to the next chapter, or the next act, it gave us a cutscene. Off to Tyrell then. It's funny how robotic the dog looks. Like,
Your floor number,
given the
please.
nature of the game and the themes of the game. It's hard to tell if that's just like poor animation or if they're saying like, hey, the dog's a robot. It's been a while since we've exposed anything new in the travel map as well. So hopefully we can get something new soon. I mean, if we need it. It is nice to be able to explore new locations though. Well, this is the first time I've seen this scene. Wow. This is just the
Beautiful,
movie.
isn't it?
The owl or the view?
Both.
The view's amazing. The owl, well, artificial things never did that much for me.
It's a flawless replica. We used a real one as a model.
Owls are extinct. Who told you the model was real?
Dr. Tyrell?
He's wrong, or lying. Check your Sydneys.
Eldon wouldn't make up something like that.
This is from the book.
You're Tyrell's assistant?
Yes, I'm Rachel. Dr. Tyrell is very busy. I'm fully familiar with all Tyrell operations.
He does know I'm a cop, right? Blade Runner unit?
Dr. Tyrell has already met with one Blade Runner today and has important business to attend to.
That's interesting.
Your department should coordinate its efforts better.
Yeah, but
You may speak to me or you may leave. I can't offer you any other choices.
fair enough. I wanted to ask about Marcus Eisenduller.
I can't tell you who killed him if that's what you're asking.
We've already got a suspect. What I want to know is why the killer would be interested in replicant DNA information.
That's a stupid question.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Your suspect is obviously a replicant, a very dangerous one.
I thought replicants were safe, more human than human. Isn't Dr. Tyrell pushing to make it legal to use rep labor to clean up the kipple?
Are we here to discuss corporate policy or Marcus Eisenduller's murder?
A little of both. You heard about the Moonbus hijacking. Yeah, I guess you would have. 50 people dead.
You can't blame...
I'm surprised you aren't out doing spin control. The public gets nervous when your pets wander around the city without a leash.
Replicants aren't pets.
Right. Pets live longer and don't go around killing people.
There are safeguards in the design.
Yeah, I've seen the data. Implanted memories, a 4-year lifespan. I'd probably get a little crazy too, but I don't think I'd start killing people.
Wouldn't you?
As I explained to Mr. Deckard earlier, I've given the Nexus 6 model a past.
Wow.
I've given it the purity and innocence of childhood. And all the joy and despair that comes with a real existence. That's hardly a death sentence. That's life.
I thought you weren't meeting with any more Blade Runners today.
Well, I decided to make an exception. Mr. McCoy, isn't it? You do understand the need for the Nexus 6 to have an identity.
Not really. No. I do see why a replicant who has an identity would want to steal Eisendoller's files.
Please, enlighten me.
They want more life.
They're wasting their time.
They're gonna come for you, just like they came for Eisendoller.
I have nothing to fear from any of my children. I tell them all exactly what I told you. Have I given you what you came here for?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah, maybe.
Then if you'll excuse me, I have a stockholder meeting to attend.
I wasn't able to interact with this cutscene at all. It was interesting that Deckard was here. Is there anywhere else to explore around here, or am I just gonna, like, just required to leave? I'll try walking around, explore a little bit. It'd be cool if I could have a look at the owl over there. Oh. I'm kind of hesitant to just walk straight out without having a quick look around. Looks like there's no new evidence. Oh, okay. We've got Rachel interview and Tyrell interview. Wonder if we've associated with those with any crimes. Seems so. Go with audio recordings and each of the cases. Yeah, so that makes sense. The Eisendoller murder. Alright. Sometimes when you re-listen to the interviews, they give you a little bit more, like, focused in on the context, so I'll have a quick listen here.
What I want to know is why the killer would be interested in replicant DNA information.
That's a stupid question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Your suspect is obviously a replicant, a very dangerous one.
I mean, that seems pretty clear. We already assumed that.
As I explained to Mr. Deckard earlier, I've given the Nexus 6 model a past. I've given it the purity and innocence of childhood. And all the joy and despair that comes with a real existence. That's hardly a death sentence. That's life.
Interesting, but I don't think it's going to help us. I mean, it's not giving me any more tips on what to look for, so I think we're done here. I think that's all we can get out of the Tyrell Corporation at the moment. I would like to check in with the guard downstairs, but I don't know that I'd be able to at the moment. Next thing that I want to follow up on is what should I follow up on next? I would like to check out if the Dragonfly lady has tracked down that. Chances are she's just going to tell us she's still looking, or, you know, she's got someone out looking for her, because that's what she's been saying every other time so far.
You hear anything yet about that Dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor. My friend, he's asking for me. If you come back later, maybe I know something more.
Okay, nothing to find there. I wonder if I can follow up at the Kingston restaurant. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, Kingston.
Thanks for your time.
No, okay. That's kind of annoying, actually, because I was hoping I would get something on this guy.
Pour me one.
Just one?
One, but one good one.
Well, I don't know. It's entirely possible I could sit down and look at the Esper again and see if I've missed more evidence and dig something up. I've done that a couple of times now. Which probably just means I'm not thoroughly looking at the Esper photographs closely enough. I need to be on my guard too, because replicants can sometimes just come out of nowhere and attack you. Or suspects, not just replicants. I think what I need to do is just go through each location and methodically just search them all and just see if I can pick up any new evidence. 'Cause I am somewhat stumped. Getting some new conversations is helpful, but yeah, I don't know. I know that there's not going to be anything here because they're pretty much locked up at the moment. Chinatown has not yielded anything new for a long time. I don't think there's much point going there. And DNA Row also pretty much locked down. Although given the conversation I just had with Tyrell, maybe there is some more information I can dig out of the eyeball guy. I'll head over there. Also, I've got an envelope full of money from Runcitas to the skin shop. I forget what the name of that one is.
What you want? I'm busy.
That squeal whenever you walk in always makes me think something's going terribly wrong.
Marcus Eisendaler is dead. You might consider knocking off work early.
What Nexus 6 want with me, huh? I just do eyes. Busy. Must make deadline.
But he's not gonna knock off work, even though his colleague's dead.
Sorry to bother you.
And he doesn't care. Okay. I mean, I'm sure he cares, but it's not affecting him enough to stop him from doing his work. I still wonder if there was a way I could have saved this guy. I had to let him explode. I tried, I think 4 or so times to save him. And there was just no way to do it. I got him out of the building probably 2 or 3 times. But we couldn't get away from the explosion quickly enough to save him. And this door's always been locked since.
Locked. No way through here.
Yeah. I feel like maybe I've dropped the ball there and I was supposed to... Maybe I was supposed to be able to save him, but I don't know. I tried as many things as I could think of and nothing worked. This video phone.
I've gotten all I can from that.
Useless as well, okay. I'm just gonna leave this thing laughing while I leave. It's creepy, but who knows, maybe that'll make something happen if I leave it in that state for a while. Probably not, but maybe. I'm sure we'll get somewhere. I think now that we've talked to a few more people, maybe some stuff will come back in the police station. Is there any point in going back to Ronsitters? I'm just going to swing by. Why not? We've got evidence that links this guy to the bombing that we were just at. Not in a very significant way, but it puts his name at the crime scene. He just doesn't seem to be around. There's no, like, ladder that I missed there. Alright. I think it's back to the police station then.
Lockup.
Is it worth looking at the lab again? Let's just check in. I was really hoping he'd be here today. Alright. Let's see if we can consolidate that information into the database and generate something new.
Uploading personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete.
Nice. Did we get anything? No. Well, this is the closest I felt like giving up since I started playing this game. I really am enjoying the game. I really appreciate all the attention to detail and, you know, the graphics techniques that I've used. I'm really stumped because I don't know how to progress from here. I can't find any of these guys out there. I have a photo of Lucy. Where is she? Oh, I'm looking at the crime scenes. I have a photo of Lucy. She's connected with the animal murder crime. I have not been able to find her. I've tracked down all this data on her. So she's got candy. Not particularly useful. Maybe she buys it from a particular store, but I haven't been able to find anything about that.
Howie Lee's in Chinatown.
Howie
I'd eaten
Lee's
there
in
myself.
Chinatown. Maybe I needed this evidence before Zubin came, like before I went after Zubin, and then I might have been able to track her down there. I don't know.
This woman says she saw that kid who worked for Runciter hanging around with a big fat guy last week.
Which is Zubin. Zubin and Lucy are connected.
She came to me with a reference from Ogilvy's in the Northwest Zone, and he's a very reputable wholesaler.
So how do we make use of that? Like, you would think, okay, go talk to Ogilvy's or Bees, I'm not sure.
I'm absolutely certain Lucy Devlin was involved in this heinous act. She's the young girl who works for me.
She's responsible for all this mayhem?
No, of course not. It was two men acting in concert with her, obviously.
We have Zubin is one of those men. And the other one is this guy. We lifted his photograph from it, and we've just intimidated Zubin enough that he decided that we were a threat and kind of gave himself up a bit. Oh, sorry, wrong one. This view A, it's a photograph that we pulled from the video that they gave us, and she's basically right here behind the cage. You can't see it very well in that little image, but she's there. That's where we lifted this photograph from. The sushi menu was on her
Bryant
desk,
once got food poisoning there, so he shut it down for a couple of months. Now,
which was also at the back of this photograph, right up there in the corner. Again, that links us back to Howie
Bryant
Lee's.
once got food poisoning there, so he shut it down for a couple of months. Now it was always good for a freebie.
Should I go to Chinatown and try and see if I can find her hiding in an alleyway? Maybe. Maybe I should. Toy dog. I don't know if this is useful as well. It's kind of in the same category as candy. Non-replicant, toy dog, candy, they go away. Replicant, all that stuff goes away. So basically the interviews. The whereabouts clues. If I just narrow it down to just whereabouts clues. There we go. So the chopstick wrapper, the reference letter, the photograph that we pulled her from, and the sushi menu.
Howie Lee's.
So these two are linking us to Howie Lee's.
Howie
She
Lee's
should be there.
in Chinatown.
Or we should be able to
I'd
find
eaten
some
there
evidence of her
myself.
around there. That would make sense, but I don't know if I've done something to make that not work out for us. You know, maybe if we didn't push Zuben, maybe we could have found evidence of her and actually solved this one. I don't know, I'm going to go take a look at it. I just talked myself into going and having another look for information there. Every time I've been there so far, I have not found anything.
Ground floor. Roof.
Not every time. Every time since Zuben disappeared, nobody else has been there. Nobody of interest. Even Howie, the owner, has not been there. Yeah, so nobody's in the restaurant. Just like right here. So Howie's normally standing right there, and earlier Zuben was here and he would walk back and forth in the back front of the store. I'm just taking a real close look at everything that I can see in here, just to see if I've missed something. And none of this really looks like evidence. I'll check inside the store. Yeah, I thoroughly searched this before, I don't need to do anything else. The only place I haven't really pushed further on is in that, there's a corridor which is basically a dead end. I guess it's possible. Maybe there's some way I can progress through there now. I don't know. Bit of a stretch. Didn't realize this was in.
Yuck. Yuck.
Okay.
Totally uninteresting.
Yeah. The first time I came through here, I looked at these two.
Totally
things,
uninteresting.
But not that barrel with the yucky lime or rain in it. Okay. This is the dead end doorway.
Locked.
I suppose there's no way through it.
Locked.
There really doesn't seem to be much else here. That's disappointing, because I was hoping. I kind of convinced myself there must be something here that links us back to Lucy, and we could find her whereabouts.
Are you taking any drugs? McCoy, LPD.
They just ignore me completely. It's kind of funny. Maybe Howie was a
You got
replicant
anything
too.
that's a match for these?
Probably not. Okay. Well, we're done here. Where to next? Alright, we've done that, we've done that, we've done Chinatown. We haven't done all of Animaloid Row, although I really doubt there's going to be anything in the... where we found the arms dealer's, like, cache. Weapons cache. And that doesn't leave much else. That really doesn't. I'm gonna go see if I can get anywhere with the boss. See if I can get anything else out of him. I mean, he unlocked the Tyrell building for us just now. Maybe he'll unlock something else if we talk to him now that we've been there. Yeah, this game is really stumping me though.
Laboratory. Ground floor.
Hey.
You killed anyone yet?
Hey. One.
You killed anyone yet?
Okay. Wonder if he's still folding little origami unicorns. Oh, he's gone again. He hasn't left anything on the desk this time either. Hmm.
What do you know?
Zero that would interest you, Detective.
It's funny that they've really blended the world of the Blade Runner movie with the book Androids. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It really consolidates everything quite well, actually. I haven't got any new evidence, so I guess I'm going to take a look at the Esper and see if I've missed any more obvious clues. I really want to find something in this photo. So far I haven't found anything in there, and it feels like I really should have. Like, really should have. Like, why would they even have the photo if there's nothing to find in there? Okay. Why would they have this photo if there was nothing to find? Is there something on the wall over here? Who's this? Just a random background person, I'm sure. Who's that? Not going to zoom in around on them. It makes it hard to, like, figure out who you should be looking at too sometimes. Because the camera will go in on someone and then spin around and look at something.
Strange scale.
Like this.
Give me a hard copy of that.
What? I swear I've zoomed in on that guy before. I don't know what I just zoomed in on to get the strange scale. But I guess this is... maybe this is what we're talking about. Isn't that interesting? Because I've zoomed in on this guy's face before. I just tried to zoom right in onto his head. And never got anything like that out of it. But... it really looks like it should be someone. Like someone of interest. I guess I just needed to zoom in on his hand. And even now when I do that, it's not getting me what I wanted. I guess it's not always consistent. How did I do that? Alright. When I have a hard copy of this, strange scale, which I assume is what he's holding in his hand there. Often he has a comment on the thing when you look at it a second time. Not this time though. Well, I have a hard copy of a scale and nobody to talk to about it. There is a snake merchant in Animoid Row, which is near where this photograph was taken. So I guess it's worth checking in. Let's consolidate our data.
Personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete.
No new information from that. Well, back to Animoid Row. You know what? I'm just going to check the lab before I leave. It doesn't take very long. Nothing new. I just noticed that looks kind of like almost like a person back there. It's not. Almost. Straight back. I guess while I'm here this time I might duck down to the weapons cache if I don't get anything new. Just to make sure I've definitely exhausted that. The whole zone of resources information. Here's the snake guy. His name's Hassan.
Thanks for your time.
Not gonna help me. Maybe this lady will.
You hear anything yet about that dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor. My friend, he's asking for me. If you come back later, maybe I know something more.
Excuse me.
Getting these tiny little breadcrumbs and hoping that they will lead me to something big. Not really working out for me. Not really working out that well at all. Been a while since I've asked this guy anything new.
Thanks for your time.
Okay. Oops. Weapons cage is just down that hole, I think. Well, she's not going to have anything about the scale, is she?
Thanks for your time.
And the bar, I can't see why he would have any information for us. Oh, maybe I could ask Izo. He's in prison. This is definitely somebody I could question, whether or not
Pour me one.
I'll be able to ask the question.
One, but one good one.
That's the question. I wish I could question the vendor that's obviously over here where that scale was being traded or talked about.
Does this badge mean anything to you?
Nope. Yeah. I'm sure if I click that, he's just gonna walk back. Yeah, he's just walking back. Okay. There's no cameras up here, are there? That I missed? No. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna take a quick break. Alright. Where was I? Do I really... I don't know if I can really be bothered checking that weapons cache. I might as well, because I am really stuck for advancing the plot. Just realised that was a pig in a cage up there. It looked like a pig. Alright. Nothing new here.
Nothing else there.
Nothing else there at all. I mean, we went on this whole chase sequence down here, and we almost caught Izo, and then I forget the name of the other Blade Runner, but she caught him and said, like, basically he's helping her out, and she took him under arrest instead of letting us get that arrest. And I haven't seen her around for a long time. Well, feels like a long time, but it's actually only like a few scenes ago in the game, I guess. I'm just trying to think of anything that I can do to progress the plot, other than just going and trying to sleep again. I already tried questioning Izo with new information. I haven't been able to find, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Guzza, G-U-Z-Z-A. This guy. I want to know where he is. And how to question him about this. That scale that we just picked up, I thought for sure was going to take me to the snake merchant Hazan. But it didn't.
Thanks for your time.
Why do I have a hard copy of that photo of the strange scale? Why do I have that? Maybe the fish merchant. Now I think about it, fish also have scales. Where is he? There he is.
Anything unusual happening down here?
I haven't heard much. All been very quiet.
Oh, that's annoying. I could spend some more time in the Esper trying to hunt down new clues, because obviously there's something about just zooming in on just the right piece of the photo to get, you know, those turnaround, you know, scanning information out of them. I suppose I could ask the one occupant of DNA Row about that scale and see if he knows where it might have come from. Izo might know where it came from too. Although, I don't know, every time I've tried to ask him about a clue, it just gets me nowhere.
I'm busy.
Try again.
Sorry to bother you.
Nope. I really wish there was a camera on this street somewhere that I could get evidence from. Because we really haven't made much progress on that bombing, even though we were right there. Just nothing in here. I'm tempted to take a break from the game and play something else for a little while and come back to it and see if I can get, you know, maybe letting my mind rest for a bit longer. I don't know. There's not going to be anybody to talk to there or there. Talk to everyone here. We haven't talked to anyone at Tyrell about the scale. And we haven't talked to anyone at the police station about the scale. Might as well go to the police station first. The other thing is, I guess we could maybe submit it to the lab, that photo, and maybe they could tell us what it is. I'm doubtful of that too. Even when we had physical evidence, like the license plate, nothing came of that.
Up there, isn't it?
Nothing at all.
I may have more questions for you later on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and there's nobody to talk to upstairs, and there's a computer there that we can't get information out of, so this is a dead end too. We'll go straight to the database thing.
Mainframe and shooting range.
And then I will go back up to the lab and see if there's anybody there.
Personal clue database. Downloading mainframe clue database. Clue database transfer complete.
Okay. Now they have our scale evidence, but that didn't bring us anything back from the system. I just want to look at this suspect and see if he's connected. Doesn't seem to be. That scale is basically nothing. Maybe that's just another red herring. Get rid of all of these. Look at all this unconnected, like there's no crimes connected here. Like Izo. taking a photo of the people at the bar. Not a crime, not a crime scene. Okay, that makes sense. Izo's friend. This looks to me exactly like it's our suspect, but apparently that's not a clue. Apparently that's not a clue. This is definitely nothing. This is just something that we got for free because we talked to the dragonfly lady.
Of course I hear you.
Actually, I
You
think we
think I'm
paid for it.
deaf? Your time more important, huh? $1,000 dead.
Strange scale, not connected to a crime. So is it worth trying to spend any resources trying to dig up information on this? Well, this jacket looks a lot like this guy's jacket. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's an Easter egg. You know, maybe it's a reference to the Blade Runner movie or something. Gosh. I sincerely hope the lab is open and they have people there because I really want to get some way to move forward. I think I've exhausted everything now. Like, I don't think there's anything else for me to do. Is this game over? Like a soft lock? I don't know.
Lockup.
Go talk to Izo. Maybe he's got something, but I don't see why he would.
You look right at home in there, Izo. You look right at home in there, Izo.
Got nothing. Can I shoot him? I could. I think.
You keeping busy, pal?
Please leave me alone. My migraine's acting up.
Okay. Okay. Let's get out of here. I might just spend a little bit more time on the Esper at the apartment and then make him go to sleep. Hopefully we get a cutscene. Hopefully we get a cutscene. Because I am really stumped. This is the most stumped I've felt playing any of the games that I've streamed so far.
Your floor number, please.
Apartments.
I rarely ever
ground
go down
floor.
the ground floor, but I don't see
88F.
there's not much point to it.
88. Thank you.
I think it's just there so you can walk around town if you want to, rather than taking the car everywhere. Say hello to the dog.
Who's the best dog in the whole world? Here you go, baby. Dinner time.
Alright. Let's get to work on the Esper. Is there anything else we can lift out of this? I just want to zoom in on the guy in the background again, just to take a look at him. Like, just... Like, his collar is up. And his hairstyle isn't completely different to the guy. In the photo, it's pretty blurry, though. The suspect that we haven't named yet. Just going to start zooming in onto other details. Maybe we'll resolve something useful. I mean, this is just hilarious. I think it would be pretty funny if one of these photos revealed that I was a replicant or something like that. We can zoom really in close on this bunny. Doesn't give us anything though, does it? Hmm. Maybe there's just that one clue with the scale, and it's, again, it's not linked to a crime yet, so it makes it kind of useless in terms of like finding clues in that photo. So again, like we haven't found anything useful out of that. Not that I really expected to. It was a photo that Ezo used the camera to blind us and run away. That's why we're in the photo. Maybe it's unreasonable to expect some evidence to come out of it. But that scale is interesting. At least it's given us one more piece of data to work with. Not that it's yielded anything yet.
China bar.
So here we got, by zooming in on the camera up there, that was useful for us. Is there anything else in here that, like, so, okay, we have this guy, and we've seen his, we've seen this profile shot already.
That guy sure gets around.
Sure does. Okay, and I'm noting the color of his jacket in this shot. It doesn't match the color of the jacket with the scale. It probably wasn't him. We look at her face and it doesn't give us anything. Might as well try zooming in on his feet. Maybe there's something on his boots that's useful evidence. Doesn't seem like it. I really do feel like I've thoroughly explored these photos, though. All the remaining ones. We try examining each piece of trash, just in case it's another link. Because one of these linked us to Kingston, but that didn't really lead us anywhere. Like, we haven't been able to track down this bomber. I want to track down the bomber, that's what I want to be doing right now, but I can't seem to find anything solid. No leads. No threads to pick. And he's right here. This is him. Maybe his boots have something interesting. Let's check them out. Nope. We lifted the explosive shot out of this. We've lifted his face out of it. There was nothing interesting about his jewelry. I mean, other than the dragonfly earring, which we've collected that as evidence. He left it at the crime scene. Interestingly, the gun itself didn't come through to us as a clue. Ricky the dog. Found him.
The dog collar has a name on it. Ricky, maybe?
It would be nice if that yielded any evidence or any, like, clues for us. It's not doing the spin around his face thing. We'll have to zoom in twice to get it. Right. Here we go.
The earring was shaped like an insect. I didn't know much about jewelry, but it looked like junk to me, like the cheap crap sold at the stands and shops of Animoid Row.
It is hilarious that it just zooms all the way around his face like that. I don't know. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I had a good conversation with Tyrell. I found some new evidence out of the Esper. I had a conversation that led me to Tyrell, obviously. It doesn't appear to be anything else in these photos that's useful.
Runsitter crime scene.
What if I could link Ricky to Runsitter somehow? I don't think I can. What kind of animal is this? It's supposed to be a deer or something? Dog, maybe? Squirrel? That's a squirrel. Okay. It almost feels like I should be able to get something here. Where else can I look in this crime scene? Tiger's not interesting, apparently. I suppose not. It is an animal store. Nothing there either. Not that I expected it, but I was kind of hoping for something. Well, we've already zoomed in on these guys' faces, but let's just do that again, just in case there's something else we can dig into there.
He looks familiar.
Oh, it does. Now here we've got Zuben in the background, who's retired. And we have this guy in the foreground, who I think we've actually connected to a lot of crimes, but not as many as the bomber. This is where we got the partial license plate from. Why isn't it letting me zoom in on it? Oh, you just have to trust me, that's where I got it from. I'm gonna try the other Ron Sitter's photo.
Ron-Sitter crime scene.
Maybe we'll find one more piece of Lucy evidence that will actually let us go talk to her. So far I haven't found her, and I'm pretty sure she's a replicant. She must be, I mean... I haven't found any others on this screen. Like a tiger. Nothing useful though. We get another angle on the animal in this cage over here. Maybe this will be useful somehow. No, it doesn't seem to be. That's a rabbit. Is that a monkey? Cool. Not much new out there. What is that? Appears to be nothing. I'm getting a little discouraged here. I was hoping I'd dig something else useful out. One of these photos. Alright, nothing new. We've looked at them all, haven't we? This is the only one that we haven't looked at in this round of looking.
China bar.
Look at this one more time. I'm not expecting to see anything useful in... anything new anyway. What's this? What's in his hand? That cloth, right? Cleaning. Not like a mysterious scale or something. I find it really strange that you can see him, Izo, taking the photo, but you can't see the subjects that were right here next to him. I guess they're right in front of where the camera is. Funny you can't see his face in this angle.
He looks familiar.
Zoom in on this section of the photo. I shouldn't get my hopes up to find anything, but I'm so stumped. I really would like something to come out of this. Alright. No. Rest time. Fingers crossed We get that Act 3 cutscene, hopefully. I really would like to see that. I might just go out on the balcony just to see. I think last time I got the cutscene, it was just I came back to the apartment and then the cutscene happened. I don't think I had to sleep to get it. So yeah.
Portrait
Let's
of
see.
the sleep deprived.
Hmm. What to do, what to do, what to do. Nobody knows. Well, maybe somebody out there knows, but I don't. Take care of the dog. Never leave the apartment again.
Here you go, baby.
Just
Dinner
watch
time.
the news. Actually, that's something I haven't done. Maybe I should watch the news. Maybe that actually will trigger some event.
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures from the Department of Justice. Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
Hmm. Hmm. Why does he have this creepy head in his apartment?
Your floor number, please.
Ground floor. Apartment.
I'm gonna go to the ground floor. I haven't been there in a while. Maybe something new will come out of that. I'm at a point where I'm just sort of like, well, let's just try this. Let's try that. Maybe something will come out of one of these things that I try, and I'll be like, oh, I should have known. But at the moment,
Apartment.
nothing's jumping out at me. Kind of wish a replicant would jump out at me and I could shoot them. Because that would get me one step closer to being done with this. I really thought once I caught Zubin that would open up things for me, but it just seems like maybe that's what shut things down for me. Maybe it sent everyone into hiding and I need to like find some obscure person to talk to and ask them the right question or something like that. I actually don't even know where to go right now. Seems there's no point in going to any of these places. Like, is it game over? Is that what's happened? Surely the game would tell you if it was game over. The Tyrell Corporation seems useless right now. DNA Row seems completely useless. Chinatown thoroughly exhausted every opportunity of questioning and finding anything there as far as I know. Ron Siddits is locked up, there's nothing there. Anemoid Row. Why won't that lady just like tell me, like give me the next clue on the dragonfly? That's all I'm like. That's the most solid line of questioning that I've had is this dragonfly lady. Surely she's got like she must have found what I need by now. I wonder if I should just go sleep, and then come back and check with her, like, after a few days of sleeping, maybe. Like, maybe she really does need, like, 4 or 5 in-game days.
About that dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor. My friend, he's asking for me. If you come back later, maybe I know something more.
Oh, I'm getting fed up with this. Doesn't look like I can shoot at anyone either.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for nothing.
I need to ask you...
Nobody will stop and talk to me, like to the random characters that walk down the street. I don't suppose there's any sense in trying to talk to Bullet Bob. He's had nothing new to say to me for a long time.
Thanks for your time. McCoy, LPD.
So what am I doing? I'm actually just looking around, just checking every corner and every nook that I can spot, and just see if there's something worth clicking on. I'm tempted to look up a walkthrough. I've gotten through 2 games without a walkthrough, which I feel pretty good about, but this one's really stumped me. Have I missed something really obvious in, like, any of these places? It would be nice to know. Like, if I looked at a walkthrough and it says, like, oh, you just have to talk to Izo 32 times before he'll give you anything. Like, that would be nice to know. I also don't really like the way the dialogue works. And I did notice something when I was quitting the last stream. You can change your conversation choices. And at the moment, like, I'm on normal mode. I could be really polite, or I could be really erratic, or somewhere surly. Use a choice, that's interesting. I'm gonna try and be surly and go talk to the lady. This doesn't seem like it's part of the game. But maybe it is part of the game. Maybe I should have read the manual before I started playing. It might have helped me know
You
if
hear
this is
anything
useful
yet
or
about
not.
that dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor. My friend, he's asking for me.
That's erratic. Let's see if that does anything different.
You hear anything yet about that dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor. If you come back later.
Use a choice. Let's see if that changes our options.
You hear anything yet about that dragonfly jewelry, like what I showed you before?
No, senor.
No.
My friend, if you come back later.
Thanks for your time.
I'm curious what this does. It's just been on this the whole time. Normal. Surely if it was important, it wouldn't just be tucked away in the menu like this, would it?
I need to ask you... Anything unusual happening down here?
I haven't heard much. All been very quiet.
Where'd he go? Where did he go? I wanted to try and ask him again. Oh, he's over
Anything
there.
unusual happening down here?
Business slow today. But tonight, my people, they're very cute.
I'll pass.
Alright. I'm completely stumped. I'm going to try changing my dialogue to a couple of different options and talk to this guy and see if he answers me if I, use one style or another. See if he gives me anything new.
What you want? I'm busy.
Because if that's part of the game, then okay, fine. But I didn't realize it, and maybe that's why I haven't been
Sorry
progressing.
to bother you. Sorry to bother you.
Okay.
Sorry to bother you.
I think it's not going to help.
Sorry to bother you.
Well, this is interesting. I don't really know. Let me press tab. Okay, options and here. Okay. Blue database is F6. Suspect database. Yeah, this is all stuff that I've managed to find. It's just not particularly useful. Where else to look? I have questions for Runcidos as well, but I haven't been able to get in to question them. I swear, if you look at like this crime scene like earlier, there was so much to look at, and now it's all locked up. It just seems like this is it. It's done. You've done what you can here. There's nothing more for you.
Interesting. Locked.
All right.
Hey.
Hopefully I can get something.
McCoy.
Give me something, dude.
Hey.
Go home and get some rest. I'm sure you need it.
Find the chute in the area. Alright. Back to the police station. Back to the police station, I guess.
Roof. Laboratory.
Come on, lab. Let's get some lab help here. Very hard for me to know
Laboratory, mainframe, and shooting range.
how much time I'm supposed to give each. Like, am I supposed to give the game time to progress things? Like, all my leads are cold right now.
gotten all I can from that.
Okay.
You keeping busy, pal?
Nah, the place has been pretty quiet the last couple of days.
Should I go through the shooting range or not? Like, that seems like a waste of time. I have no reason to do it. I think it's just a training thing.
Ground floor.
Try this again?
What do you know?
Zero that would interest you, Detective.
Okay. I think maybe next stream I'll try and play something else. Get a little bit of distance from this and let me think it through. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Or you know what, maybe I'll actually just look up a tutorial. Like a walkthrough. Just give in to the hopelessness that is not finding any new clues and not finding any way to progress the mission. Might try going out the front door. See if there's anything out there. Maybe there's somebody on the street trying to plant a bomb. And I just have to go to the right scene. Yeah. Doesn't really look like it. Going to the apartment.
Your floor number, please.
Apartments.
I found nothing.
88F.
So I don't think going to the apartment is going to help, but like, does it progress time? And if I let enough time progress, does that progress the story? I really don't know.
Good doggy.
Portrait of the sleep deprived.
Portrait of the sleep deprived. Let's see if there's a new news broadcast or not.
Violent street crime in the city rose again last year by a whopping 26%, according to the latest figures from the Department of Justice. Governor Kolvig attributed the change to the dramatic increase in the number of specials registered as city residents and promised a tough new set of standards for the City Immigration Bureau by next month.
Just going to look at the manual really quick and just see if there's any information in here about playing the game. Like, so successful missions. I feel like I'm pretty familiar with everything except the successful missions that's listed in the table of contents here. So I'm going to take a look at that. Successful missions. This is a game of patience and detail. Don't be too quick to leave an area without thoroughly checking around. Make good use of your KIA. It's your best friend. Other Blade Runners can pick up anything you miss, and they could get ahead of you and steal your retirement bonuses. As you find more clues, you may want to go back and interview people you have already talked to. I would really like to, but they've all gone missing. They may have more information for you based on what you have found. Remember, it's a tough, gritty world out there, so don't let your guard down. Or it might just be you who receives an early retirement. And that's all it says about successful missions, so that doesn't actually help me much. So I'm supposed to check in with Lieutenant Guza, and he's gone missing, and when I saw him there, I couldn't question him about being in the photograph that I'd seen him in. Maybe the Esper has some more information in that, like, shot of him. Maybe, like, who he's talking to is important, and I need to, like, zoom in on their face somehow. Or maybe it's not useful at all. The Dino, the lab tech, can't analyze clues unless you've uploaded them, but I've uploaded all my clues. So according to the manual, when you get the you can use the Esper to find clues. It takes a little practice, so you have to be patient. You can zoom in and out, you know, all of those things that are described here. Yeah. The spinner just says the map will expand as you to include more locations to explore as you progress the investigation, which it has done, but I'm at my limit now. Okay, game options. If one of the first 4 buttons is chosen, McCoy is placed into an automatic conversation mode. He will automatically choose something to say based on the agenda you have chosen for him. The agendas are polite, normal, surly, and erratic random choices. The 5th button, user choice, causes a menu to be displayed whenever there is a conversation choice, allowing you to choose for yourself what McCoy will say. I guess like the reason that they defaulted it to normal is because there's not a need to change that option. Like, it won't affect your potential outcomes. I hope. I hope that's what that means. Alright. Well, now I've done my due diligence of reading the manual after playing the game for, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, I think. And I still have nothing to work with here.
I checked with UN Air. Looks your rep swung that Moonbus massacre last month.
They ever find the moon bus?
Disappeared into thin air. Ryan thinks it crashed out into Kipple.
She came to me with a reference from Ogilvy's in the Northwest Zone, and he's a very reputable wholesaler. Who else would be capable of such barbaric acts?
So diagnostic mode is just the game credits, I guess. Okay.
Your floor number, please.
Ground floor.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain at the moment. There's nothing here. Okay.
Laboratory.
Might as well give it another look in. I've checked in all my data to the database, so if there was anything to analyze, they would have analyzed it. Well, I think it's probably just time for me to call it a night because I'm getting more frustrated than making progress. We made some small progress at the start. We talked to Tyrell and Rachel. We talked to Lieutenant Guzar. We haven't found anything since then that's been useful. Just wandering around the streets and trying to find new clues. Dug into the Esper a little bit. We found one new piece of evidence in the Esper, but it doesn't connect to any crimes yet. I guess it's not evidence, it's just a piece of information that we found. Yeah. I think that this might actually be a good time to just take a break, and I'll come back at it again next stream, maybe with some new ideas, and I don't know, maybe I'll look at some tips in a walkthrough or something like that if I still haven't thought of anything before I start tomorrow. Thanks for checking out the stream or the VODs. If you like the VODs and you want to follow me on Twitch, that'd be cool. I'm happy to have people actually sitting here and chatting with me and have some conversations. So I'll talk about just about anything. Yeah, anyway. Have a good one. See you next time.